She came home in the middle of the night, smelling unfamiliar, like she'd been somewhere I hadn't been invited. No explanation. No apology. Just a lie so lazy, it made my stomach turn. I asked where she'd been. She smiled, and said, "You worry too much." But I already knew. The hotel receipt in her glove box told a different story. The voicemail she forgot to delete confirmed everything. And the man who rang our doorbell 3 days ago, the one who walked away without a word, I recognized him. I just hadn't figured out how. Not yet. Something was off, something big. And when I finally discovered the truth, it wasn't just betrayal. You won't believe who she was hiding. I came home late from work, just after 9 p.m. My boss had dumped a last-minute project on my desk, and I didn't feel like arguing. When I pulled into the driveway, I noticed my wife's car, the red Charger, wasn't there. Odd, since she usually works from home on Fridays. I texted her, "Hey, everything okay? Just got home." No reply. Inside, the house was quiet. Too quiet. No TV, no music, not even her usual talking on speakerphone with her sister. I tossed my keys in the bowl and headed upstairs. Nothing. The bed was made, her laptop open but in sleep mode. An hour passed. I reheated leftovers and started folding some laundry just to stay busy. Around 10:30, she texted back, "Sorry, just went out with some friends from work. We decided last minute. Don't wait up." She never mentioned plans. And don't wait up? That's not like her. We've been married 6 years. We text all day, even if it's something dumb like a meme or a photo of the cat in the laundry basket. But lately, less of that. Still, I tried not to overthink it. I poured myself a drink and played FIFA to shut off my brain. At 1:17 a.m., I heard the Charger pull into the driveway. She came in whispering on the phone, then quickly ended the call when she saw me in the kitchen. "Didn't think you'd still be up," she said, dropping her purse on the counter. "Didn't think you'd still be out." She laughed, forced. We had drinks. Melissa's getting a divorce. It turned into a whole thing. Girl therapy night. "Didn't know you were that close with Melissa," I said. She opened the fridge like I hadn't said anything. "I'm starving." I watched her microwave leftover pasta. She didn't look drunk. No perfume. Her hair wasn't messy. But her keys, the ones she always dropped in the bowl, missing. "You forget your keys?" I asked. She blinked. "What? Your car keys? They're not in the bowl." She glanced over. "Oh, they're in my purse, probably. Want me to check?" "No." Too fast. Then she added, "Don't be weird." I said nothing, but the tone was different. Not annoyed, defensive. Something was off, and I couldn't put my finger on it. The next morning, I got up early, before she did. Her purse was sitting on the stool by the counter. I wasn't snooping. Not really. I just wanted to see the keys. But they weren't there. I looked again. Wallet, gum, sunglasses, a receipt from a sushi place across town, but no Charger key. Then it hit me. The Charger has a push to start. The key fob only needs to be nearby. If someone else had driven her back and parked the car, she wouldn't need the key to drive off again. I stepped outside. The Charger was there, all right. Parked perfectly, but still warm. But the detail that got me? The driver's seat was pushed back too far. Way too far. My wife is 5 feet 4 inches. This was set for someone over 6 feet. I didn't say anything that morning. Not yet. But I started noticing little things. She kept showering late at night. Her phone was always face down. She changed her password. And then, 2 nights later, I walked into the living room and saw her quickly minimize a browser window. I pretended not to notice, sat down, and opened Netflix. She got up and said she was too tired to watch anything. As soon as she went upstairs, I opened the browser. One tab was still open in the history. How to tell if your partner is cheating. It wasn't something she was researching about me. It was something she was worried about me doing. Or projecting. Or both. 2 days later, I was eating dinner when her phone buzzed. She was in the shower, and the screen lit up on the counter across from me. It was just a first name, Kevin. I wouldn't have thought twice, but the preview showed the message. "You get home safe?" Last night was wild. Never felt energy like that before. I stared at it. I wasn't breathing. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. I just waited. When she came down in sweats and a towel wrapped around her head, she saw me still at the table. Her eyes flicked to the phone. "Someone texted you," I said casually. She froze. "Oh, yeah, Kevin. Said something about last night." Her face didn't change. Not even a twitch. "Oh, that's from work. Kevin from accounting. We all went out. He's just being stupid. He said last night was fire. What did you guys do? Burn a spreadsheet? She laughed too hard. No, just dumb jokes. You know how people are. I stared at her. Never heard you mention Kevin before. She waved it off. He's new. Started a month ago. She grabbed her phone and turned her back to me as she typed something quickly. Then she sat across from me and asked what I wanted to watch. That night, I lay in bed beside her, staring at the ceiling while she scrolled Instagram. I couldn't sleep. Something didn't fit. At lunch the next day, I called her office from my cell. The receptionist picked up. Hi, can I speak to Kevin in accounting? I asked. A pause. We don't have a Kevin in accounting, she said. Are you sure you don't mean Kyle? No, I think it was Kevin. Sorry, no one by that name here. Click. That evening, I asked her about him again. So, Kevin's in your department? She barely looked up from her phone. Nah, different floor. He works with payroll, I think. You said accounting yesterday. Oh, yeah, payroll. Same thing. She wasn't even trying to make sense. That night, I decided to test something. I told her I'd be working late the next day, had a meeting that'd keep me out until 10. She said, okay, without asking anything else. No, why so late? No, want me to save you dinner? Nothing. The next day, I left like normal at 8 a.m. Worked until 5. Then I parked a block away from our house and waited in my car. 7 p.m. Nothing. 8 p.m. Still nothing. At 8:52 p.m., I saw headlights. Her Charger pulled up. She stepped out in heels and a tight black dress I'd never seen before. Hair done. Makeup heavy. She walked like she didn't have a care in the world. She went inside. I waited 10 minutes. Then I went in, quiet. She was in the kitchen pouring wine. Wow, she said, pretending to be surprised. You're home early. I stared at her. Yeah, meeting got canceled. Who were you out with? She didn't skip a beat. Girls from work. Melissa, Karen, you know them. No, Kevin. She smiled, almost too confidently. Nope. No, Kevin. I stared at her dress. Didn't know girls' night meant cocktail dresses. She shrugged. We tried a new bar downtown. Girls wanted to get dressed up. I leaned against the counter. You never dressed like that for me. She turned and opened the fridge. Well, maybe you should take me out more. That line stuck with me all night. She didn't act guilty. Didn't apologize. Didn't ask about the meeting that got canceled. Just flipped the blame. Something changed after that night. She got more distant, but also more careful. She started deleting texts, keeping her phone on her at all times. Once, I saw her switching between apps like her life depended on it. Still, I wasn't going to confront her yet. Not until I knew for sure who he was. Whoever he was, he wasn't just Kevin. A week later, I came home early again. Not to catch her, I had an actual half day. She wasn't expecting me. When I walked in, I heard music playing in the living room. She was on the couch, laughing at something on her phone. She jumped when she saw me. Jesus, you scared me. I smiled. Didn't know I needed an appointment to come home. She laughed, but she paused the music and locked her phone. I didn't hear the garage. I didn't say anything. Just looked at the coffee table. There was a mug. A white ceramic one that said, Property of TGI Fridays. I stole this, sue me. I'd never seen that mug in our house before. Where'd this come from? I asked. She didn't look up. Melissa brought it last time she came over. She said it was funny. I turned it around slowly. Lipstick on the rim. Not her usual shade. She saw me examining it and grabbed it. Why are you so weird lately? Just notice things. Like what? She was smiling, but her voice had sharp edges. Like lipstick that isn't yours. She rolled her eyes. God, you're paranoid. That night, she said she was going to bed early. I stayed up, waiting. At 11:24 p.m., her phone buzzed. She'd left it on the couch. The screen lit up. Call from unknown. Then another. Voicemail received. I didn't listen to it. I don't break into phones. But something about that call, it wasn't spam. She came downstairs 10 minutes later, eyes wide when she saw her phone still on the couch. You left your phone, I said. She smiled. Oops. Good thing you're so honest. She picked it up and walked into the hallway. A few seconds later, I heard her whispering. Whispering. In her own house. I got up and walked closer. I didn't eavesdrop. Just stood there. She came back into the room like nothing happened. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I called the voicemail line from our carrier. We both use the same family plan. With the right PIN, you can access messages from any phone. I punched in the digits. One new message. A man's voice. Hey, just checking in. I know last night got heavy, but I meant every word. Let me know you got home safe. I miss you already. He didn't say her name, but he wasn't talking to Melissa. I didn't save the message. I didn't record it. I just sat there, phone in my hand, for a long time. By that point, I knew. But knowing and proving are different. And I still had no idea who he was. She left again that Friday night. Work dinner, she said. I waited 15 minutes, then called her phone. It rang twice, then went to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. 2 hours later, I got a text. Sorry, super loud here. Can't talk, all good. She came home around midnight. Smelled like hotel soap. No perfume. Just that clean, sterile scent you only get from those tiny bottles. You smell nice, I said, standing in the hallway. She smiled, tossed her heels by the wall. They had samples in the bathroom. Want me to grab one for you? You shower at work dinners now? She didn't flinch. We went dancing. I was sweaty. Was Melissa sweaty too? She paused. What is with you lately? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. I was getting closer, and I think she knew it. Sunday afternoon, she left her laptop open. I wasn't looking for anything. I swear I wasn't. But the screen was still on. Gmail. Inbox open. And there it was, an email with the subject line. Your booking confirmation, Courtyard by Marriott. I walked over and clicked it before I even had time to think. It was from the previous Friday. Room for two, 7:30 p.m. check-in. One king bed. No cancellation. She'd told me she was going to a work dinner. I stared at the confirmation. My hands were cold. I closed the tab and walked away. That night, I tried to play it cool. You ever stay at that Marriott downtown? I asked during dinner. She didn't look up. No. Why? Heard it's nice. She shrugged. I don't know. Never been. Lie. Plain and clean. Later that night, I went back to her laptop. Locked. Different password. I opened my own laptop and tried something stupid. Her old password on her Gmail. Didn't work. Then I added an exclamation point at the end. It worked. The inbox was clean. Suspiciously clean. I checked the trash. Empty. Spam? Nothing. But the search bar revealed what she thought she deleted. Courtyard. Marriott. Booking confirmation. Kevin. I clicked the Kevin search. No emails. But the autocomplete confirmed she had typed it multiple times. I closed everything down and went to bed, eyes wide open. The next morning, she left early. Claimed she had a staff strategy brunch. I called the hotel from the confirmation email. Hi. I was just checking. My wife had a reservation last Friday under her name, but I think she might have left something. Can you check if it was picked up from room 312? Room 312? The clerk asked. That was under, hold on. Yep, we had to stay under her name. Nothing turned in though. Thanks. Just wanted to be sure. She hadn't lied about her name. She just left out who she was with. That evening, I saw her coming home from the window. She was outside the front door, still in heels, talking on the phone. Then I saw something that shocked me. She lit a cigarette. She hasn't smoked in 5 years. Not since her dad died from lung cancer. She never smoked inside, so I watched from the window as she paced in the driveway, talking and taking long drags. When she came in, I acted like I hadn't seen anything. She smelled like mint gum and perfume. No trace of the smoke. Good brunch. I asked. She nodded. We ended up shopping after. Melissa wanted to try on shoes. Didn't know you were still hanging out with Melissa. She paused, then nodded again. Yeah, just lately. She needs support. You smell like cigarettes. She laughed. EW. No, I don't. You do. She walked into the bathroom and turned on the shower. Must have been someone at brunch. But her voice was high-pitched. A little too cheerful. She never noticed me watching her from the hallway mirror. She stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection with this blank, calculating expression. Then she whispered something. I couldn't hear all of it. But I caught one word. One name. Matt. I started packing her lunch again. Used to be something I did every week. Just a nice habit. But I stopped a while back when she said she preferred eating out with coworkers. But this week, I started again. She didn't argue. Wednesday morning, I tucked a sticky note inside. Love you. Hope lunch is better than your meeting. That night, when she came home, she didn't say a word about the note. Just tossed the empty bag in the sink and started scrolling through her phone. I waited. Nothing. Then I opened the bag. The note was still in it. Unfolded. Untouched. Like she never even opened it. You didn't like lunch? I asked. She looked up, caught off guard. Oh, it was fine. You read the note? She blinked. What note? There it was. She covered it quickly. Oh yeah. I saw it. Sweet. Thanks. The next morning, she didn't take the bag. Said she was skipping lunch to do errands. I didn't believe her. So I followed her. I know how that sounds. But I didn't hire anyone, didn't snoop through her phone, didn't track her. I just got in my car 5 minutes after she left and followed from a distance. She drove across town. Not to work. Not to any mall or grocery store. To a quiet street, mostly residential, except for one small cafe on the corner. She parked. Got out. Waited. 5 minutes later, a man pulled up on a motorcycle. Helmet off. Tall, athletic. Maybe mid-30s. Light stubble. They hugged. Not a side hug. A full one. Like they hadn't seen each other in days and were starving for it. I didn't get out. I stayed in my car, 4 spots down, parked behind a van. They didn't go into the cafe. They just stood by his bike, talking, laughing. Then she took off her jacket, handed it to him, and he put it in his saddlebag like it was a routine. Like it was normal. They rode off together on his bike 10 minutes later. She held on tight. Her hair streamed behind them as they disappeared down the road. She came home at 6 that night. You smell like exhaust, I said, barely hiding my disgust. She tilted her head. What? Like gas and rubber. You ride the bus back today or something? She blinked. No. Why? You didn't take your car. I left it at work, she lied quickly. Karen drove me home. Karen? Or Melissa? She flinched. Karen. Melissa wasn't in today. She was slipping. Bit by bit. I waited a few seconds. I drove by the cafe on 8th this afternoon. Saw a bike that looked like your brother's old one. Her face changed for just a second. Micro-expression, like a hard reboot. Really? Huh. What were you doing over there? Just taking a different route home. She turned back to the sink. You and your shortcuts. Then she changed the subject. That night, I waited until she was asleep and grabbed her purse. Inside was a gas station receipt. Timestamped 2:12 p.m. Address matched a station 3 blocks from where she parked that afternoon. I took a photo of it and put it back exactly where I found it. No notes. No accusations. Not yet. She was careful. I had to be more careful, because I still didn't know his name. Matt. Kevin. Some guy from her office? A friend of her brother? Whoever he was, I was getting closer. And she was getting more reckless. Saturday morning, we were both home. She woke up earlier than usual. Said she was going for a run. She hadn't run in months. I stayed in bed, waited 10 minutes, then got up and looked out the window. She wasn't running. She was sitting in her car, engine off, texting someone. I watched her type, pause, type again. Then she called someone. It was a short call, 30 seconds, maybe less. Then she drove off. Later that afternoon, she came back. Smiling. Relaxed. She walked in with a smoothie, kissed me on the cheek like everything was fine. Run good? I asked. Great, she said. Did 5 miles. Wow. That's the most you've done since last year. She nodded. Felt good to be outside. Who'd you call before your run? She froze. Barely a second. Then she said, Melissa. She was supposed to join me, but bailed. I nodded. You texted first. Then called. She laughed. God, you're nosy lately. That night, she left her gym bag near the door. I waited until she went to bed, then opened it. Inside was her running gear. Lightly used. But at the bottom of the bag, wrapped in a sock, was something new. A bracelet. Silver chain, with a small black charm. Not something she'd ever wear. There was a tag still on it. Small boutique downtown. I Googled it. Men's accessories store. I put everything back exactly how I found it. The next morning, during breakfast, she said she might run again later. I offered to join her. She waved it off. You hate running. I could try. She smiled tightly. It's my thing. You know that. I let it go. That afternoon, I texted her while she was out. Did you pick up something for me while you were downtown? She replied, Huh? I'm not downtown. Interesting. I followed up. Thought you said you were running near River Park? She took longer this time. Yeah, why? I saw your car by 8th Street again. Same place as Wednesday. No reply. 10 minutes. Nothing. Then she called. Are you following me? I didn't say anything. Seriously. What the hell? Are you spying on me now? You told me you were running by River Park. I drove around after. To cool down. Jesus. Cool down near the cafe again? Silence. You think I'm cheating, don't you? She finally said. I think you're lying. I replied. Another pause. Then, maybe I needed some space. Space for what? For everything. You've been distant. Cold. Ever since last month. That was her angle now, deflection. You're hiding something, I said. She didn't deny it. Just said, can we talk when I get home? Sure. But we didn't talk. She came home, dropped her stuff, and immediately went to take a shower. Then she came out, hair wet, eyes tired. Sat beside me on the couch. Said nothing. I waited. Still nothing. Then she mumbled, I'm sorry for being weird lately. That all? She nodded. I'm just going through stuff. I looked her in the eye. Who's Matt? Her face dropped. I what? Who? You said his name. In the mirror. Last week. She shook her head too quickly. No. I said map. I was looking at my phone. Directions. You whispered it. I didn't say Matt. She looked scared now. Not guilty, scared. I didn't press harder. But she knew. And I knew. And Matt was real. Sunday. Rainy. One of those lazy days where nothing feels urgent. Around noon, I heard the doorbell. She was upstairs, probably scrolling Instagram. I opened the door. No one there. But halfway down the sidewalk, a guy was walking away. Late 20s. Tall. Athletic. He wore a gray hoodie pulled low over his head. I stepped outside. Can I help you? He didn't stop. Didn't turn. Just waved without looking back and kept walking. I called out again. Hey. Nothing. She came downstairs 5 seconds later. Who was it? Some guy, I said. Wrong house maybe. Her eyes flicked toward the window. Weird. You know him? Nope. Didn't even check the peephole. I was in the bathroom. Another lie. I went outside and checked the porch. Nothing left. No package. No note. But his shoes left wet footprints on the welcome mat. The tread looked like a running shoe. Nike, probably. An hour later, I accidentally bumped into her gym bag. Same one from before. I opened it in front of her. What are you doing? She asked. Looking for my earbuds. She snatched the bag from my hand. I have my own earbuds in there. I thought you said they broke. They did. I bought new ones. That night, I saw the gray hoodie again, hanging over a chair in the laundry room. Not mine. Too small. And not hers, either. I picked it up. Smelled like cologne. A kind I didn't wear. When she saw me holding it, she panicked. Oh, that's Karen's boyfriend's. He left it in my car. I stared at her. Why was Karen's boyfriend in your car? We gave him a ride last week. You said Melissa was with you. Melissa too. Her stories were falling apart. Why is it still here? I forgot to give it back. I held it up. This the guy who rang the doorbell earlier? She blinked, then laughed. God, you're so paranoid lately. Was it Matt? She stopped laughing. I don't know who that is. You said his name. No, I didn't. I folded the hoodie and put it on the counter. You should return this before I throw it away. She didn't touch it the rest of the night. The next morning, it was gone. Tuesday, she left again. Said she was visiting her mom. Her mom lives in a different state. Didn't book a flight, I said. I'm driving. Just for a day. You said she was sick. Yeah, she's better now. Then why go? She grabbed her bag and keys. Because I want to. The charger pulled out of the driveway. I waited 10 minutes. Then checked the glove box for the usual receipts and parking stubs she always forgot to clean out. But this time nothing. Completely empty. Even the napkins were gone. She'd cleaned the car out. For the first time in years. I didn't follow her this time. I waited. She came home the next morning. Hair wet. Clothes different. I checked the trash after she showered. Found a plastic bag from a gas station 3 towns over. Empty cologne bottle inside. Same scent as the hoodie. She came downstairs like nothing happened. Mom says hi, she said. I nodded. Tell Matt I said hi too. She didn't even ask who I meant this time. Just turned and went back upstairs. Friday night, she suggested dinner out. First time in weeks. Just the two of us, she said. No distractions. I agreed. Played my part. Smiled when I had to. Nodded when she talked about work like everything was normal. Halfway through dinner, she reached across the table. I miss us. I didn't respond. She continued. I know I've been distant. I know I've been weird. But I want to fix it. Then stop lying to me. Her smile didn't waver, but her eyes did. I'm not lying, she said too quickly. I know about the hotel. The guy on the bike. The hoodie. She sat back, looked around the restaurant. Like she needed a witness or an escape route. You've been following me? I've been watching. That's different. Are you recording this? She asked, quieter now. No. She stared at me, trying to read if I was bluffing. I wasn't. I made mistakes, she finally said. Matt's a mistake? Her eyes flickered again. I don't know who that is. You said his name. Twice. First time in the mirror. Second time in your sleep. That got her. You were listening to me sleep? I live here. She stayed silent, then leaned forward. Do you want the truth? I said nothing. She nodded slowly. Okay. But she didn't say a word for the rest of the meal. We drove home in silence. She went straight to bed. I didn't. I went to the garage. Her gym bag was in the trunk. I opened it. Inside, there were 2 gloves, leather, fingerless, men's size. I pulled one out. Stitched initials inside. A.S. Not M. Not Matt. I froze. I checked the receipt stuffed into the side pouch. Boutique leather shop, 2 weeks ago. Buyer, Amanda S. My wife's best friend. Amanda. I closed the bag and walked back inside. Next morning, I asked casually, You heard from Amanda lately? She shrugged. Not really. Why? She's still dating that guy? What guy? I forget his name. Big guy. Tattoos? No idea what you're talking about. She poured coffee. Her hands were shaking. Later that day, I checked our shared cloud storage. We rarely used it, but it auto-synced some phone backups from a while ago. Found an old shared album, photos from our anniversary trip last year. But one new photo was in there. Time-stamped 3 weeks ago. It was her, in a hotel room mirror, wearing a black robe, and someone else's hand holding her hip. Male. Big. Tattoo on the wrist. Not Matt. Not Kevin. I zoomed in on the reflection in the mirror. Part of a name tattooed on the wrist. Drew. I closed the album. That night, she came home late again. I asked her, You see Amanda today? She paused. Yeah. For coffee. She tell you about Andrew? Silence. Then she said, too calmly, You're being really weird lately. I stood up. Am I? She grabbed her phone and went to the bedroom. I followed her 10 minutes later. She was deleting messages again. I saw her screen. I sat beside her. When are you going to stop pretending? She didn't look up. I know it's not Kevin. And I know it's not Matt. Now she looked at me. Eyes wide. I leaned closer. But I'm getting real tired of guessing. Sunday afternoon, she got a call while we were on the couch. She stood up too fast, said be right back, and took the call in the bathroom. She forgot her smartwatch on the coffee table. It lit up twice. The first buzz showed a message preview. You free next weekend? I'll book the same place. No interruptions this time. Sender. A. I picked up the watch. Tapped the screen. She hadn't put a lock on it. The conversation was short. All recent. Just 3 days back. Photos. 2 of them. A photo of her, alone, in an unfamiliar place. One she never mentioned. One message from her. You're bad for me. Reply from him. But you keep coming back. I scrolled up, found a name, Andrew S. The same initials from the gloves. She came out of the bathroom and saw me holding the watch. Froze in place. We locked eyes. I tilted the screen toward her. She didn't say anything. Just exhaled like the last air in her body left. You done? I asked. She nodded. No more lies. She looked at the floor. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? Silence. I stood up. Is it serious? Her eyes shot up. No. I swear. It wasn't like that. You said, same place, no interruptions. That sounds like routine, not a mistake. It's not serious, she insisted. It was just, God, I don't even know. I was angry. I felt ignored. It was just one of those stupid things that got out of control. One of those things with hotel reservations and matching bracelets. She didn't answer. Who is he? A friend. From Amanda's circle. I met him once and then, things just spiraled. What's his last name? She hesitated. Sampson. Andrew Sampson. I didn't recognize the name. But that night, I found his Instagram. Private account. Profile picture was a motorcycle. One of his tagged photos was public, from a birthday party 2 months ago. Guess who posted it? Amanda. Caption. Happy 34th to this troublemaker. Andrew. In the background. Same tattoo. I clicked the comments. And there it was. My wife. Best night ever. The photo was taken on a Friday. She'd told me she was out with Melissa that night. I scrolled down further. Found something strange. Another user in the comments saying, he's such a dog, lol. Then Amanda replied, should don't tell his girlfriend. Girlfriend? I checked Andrew's tagged photos again. A week-old picture. A blonde woman, smiling, arms around his neck. Caption: 2 years and counting. So not only was my wife cheating, she was cheating with someone already in a relationship. I turned off my phone and walked into the bedroom. She looked up from her laptop. Hey, I want you out by Friday. She blinked. What? You heard me. She stood. We can talk about this. I'm done talking. But what about? No more chances. You lied. For months. You looked me in the face every day and lied. I didn't mean to. Yeah, I cut her off. That's the problem. You didn't mean to get caught. She stood frozen. Then, stupidly, she said the one thing that sealed it. I never loved him. It didn't mean anything. I laughed. You wore his hoodie, stayed in his hotel, and let him capture moments you never shared with me. But yeah, sure. It meant nothing. She looked like she wanted to cry, but no tears came. I turned to leave the room. And just as I did, I heard her mutter under her breath. He wasn't supposed to show up here. I stopped. What did you say? She froze. I stepped back into the room. You said he wasn't supposed to show up here. When? She didn't answer. When did he show up? Still nothing. Then it clicked. The guy who rang the doorbell. The one who didn't say a word. That was Andrew. He'd come to the house. And that meant something else was going on. I didn't sleep that night. Not because she was in the same house. She wasn't. She'd gone to Amanda's, claiming she needed space to process everything. That was fine by me. Gave me time to think. But I couldn't stop replaying what she'd said. He wasn't supposed to show up here. The guy at the door. The one who walked off without turning around. That wasn't a delivery guy. That was Andrew. And something felt off. I went through everything again. Not just her lies, not the messages or receipts, but the little things. The way she suddenly wanted to be around when she'd been distant for months. The nervous glances. The weird gaps in her stories. But most of all, the fact that I never once saw Andrew clearly. Always a photo, a reflection, or a silhouette. And then I remembered the voice from the voicemail weeks ago. The one that said, I miss you already. I still had it saved in the cloud voicemail backup. I played it again. It wasn't unfamiliar. That's when it hit me. I pulled up an old video from a backyard party we had last year. I was grilling. A few coworkers of hers were over. I barely remembered their names. But there he was. In the background. Amanda's boyfriend. Andrew? No, not quite. I isolated the frame. Cleaned it up. Not Andrew Sampson. Aaron Sanders. Not her friend's friend. Her boss. I felt sick. She hadn't just been cheating with some random guy. She was screwing her married boss. I dug deeper. Company website. Vice President, Operations. Married, 2 kids. Same man in the Instagram post with the blonde, his wife. The tattoos matched. The hoodie? Corporate retreat gift from a private team building weekend. That bracelet? Their company logo on the charm. It wasn't just an affair. It was calculated. Risky. Dangerous. She lied to both of us. He showed up at our door. Probably panicked. Probably thinking she'd told me. Maybe to warn her. Or maybe to see if I was a threat. Now I realized why she panicked when I saw him. She didn't expect him to cross the line and come to our home. He wasn't supposed to exist in my world. But he had stepped right into it. I didn't tell her I knew. Instead, I printed the hotel receipts, photos, texts, and the company code of conduct highlighting the zero-tolerance policy on interoffice relationships, especially involving subordinates. I sent it all anonymously to HR. From a burner email. 2 days later, she came home crying. He got fired, she said. He said someone sent everything in. His wife found out. He's losing custody. I just stared at her. You knew, she whispered. Didn't you? I didn't respond. You did this. You set it all up. I stood up, grabbed the envelope with the divorce papers from the table, and handed it to her. You played stupid games, I said. And he won stupid prizes. She looked broken. Finally. Not because she was sorry. Not because she hurt me. Because her safety net collapsed. And she was falling. I didn't watch her sign. I didn't ask why. I didn't want a final word. The next morning, she was gone. Left a note. I never meant to hurt you. But I don't blame you for destroying me. Hey, I folded it once and dropped it in the trash. That was a month ago. She moved in with Amanda. Andrew moved out of his house. And me? I sleep just fine. What I've learned. If you feel like something's wrong, it is. Don't wait for proof. Don't wait for them to confess. They won't. They only confess when they lose control. Keep your eyes open. Ask the small questions. Watch the small details. The lies always live in the details. And the truth? It always shows up uninvited. Just like he did.